What's up, people? This is Coach Rob coming to you from the Coach's Laboratory. So let's talk a little bit about Saturday's race. And what I want to do is hopefully frame that for you with a little bit of a long term perspective. Okay, so this season, but also doing a lot of things this year, this fall specifically, that I think will pay off with a very young group. Right now in our um, top five, top seven, top 10. We don't have any seniors outside of maybe Ella Weldy that have kind of been in that group, and we haven't had a senior score for us yet. So this whole group returns, and that includes Sydney and Amanda and Charlotte, while they're not racing yet or this season, are a part of what we're trying to build here. So what I'd like to present to you, which is something that I've had conversations with the coaching staff about, how does our approach to Saturday's race at SPAC set us up to continue to improve, but also have a chance at being our best before the end of the season. So um, on November 22nd, I want to say that Sunday is the Suburban Council Championships. I have no idea what that looks like. I still believe right now it would be a time trial style race with teams having a separate start times throughout that morning, but I don't know how many would race. So, our approach to SPAC and racing shouldn't change. I don't believe we'll see you on the same starting line as the other teams. So, that is our last official race of the season, and a week before that we're supposed to race Shaker at the Crossings, which is a flat fast course. We've been there before. Oftentimes we've used that course as more of a workout in trainers, as kind of a training session before championships. But this year we would use that as a course to really kind of get out hard for the first time, as a targeted objective on a course like that where there's nothing, no hill, no real difficult section that you would pay for it big time by getting out aggressive. I think the last piece of the puzzle 1 week prior to the championship race would be being aggressive, right? And we've been very measured and disciplined so far this season. So let's back up. The week prior to that is the Saratoga dual meet, and that is our toughest matchup, obviously. But again, we kind of control our own destiny in terms of how we've approached racing, and I think to a large extent, you guys have bought into that. So with on November 6th, our second SPAC meet this Saturday is kind of a setup. We want to get over the course. We want to race the course, and I think we want to approach it and kind of tighten up some of our weaknesses or things that we can continue to do better. What I mean specifically by that is, when you look at the course of the season, and every meet we've gotten progressively a little bit better. Our mile and 2 mile, so our first mile and second mile splits are still 35 seconds apart. So if you've gone through the mile in 6 minutes, that means you've run your second mile in 6:35, and that's just not efficient racing, especially when you consider that those four races have been on a course that's basically a track meet. There's no hill, there's no really tough section, there's no section of bad footing where you'll get a little bit more of that with some hills at SPAC. The footing is usually very good there, so it's a fast surface, but compared to a Bowdoin or a real muddy course, our course, we should be able to run more even on it because of the flat nature and even or consistent terrain. So that's something that we have control over, that we need to do a better job. So what I'd like to present to you is this weekend on Saturday. I want us to go through the halfway mark together. I believe that that's going to mean maybe Luca and Brenna backing off a little bit, and even their first mile to second mile splits are still a little bit too inconsistent. I think the group coming through halfway, and then people moving as they feel like they can at that point, which is at the bottom of the gravel hill coming back from the pool, really sets you guys up. It keeps you from getting into oxygen debt too early, going out too hard, and it also alleviates the issue of everybody running by themselves in 9-second gaps, which is kind of the average difference between every runner in the race to the next runner when I did the statistics on our last couple of races. So what we want to avoid is these big gaps where you're all running the same pace after 1,000 meters, 1,200 meters into the race, but you're doing it separated by these small little margins, but nobody moves up and nothing changes. And we have video and we've seen that. So the big objective would be, can we stay together and come through at least the halfway mark as a group, and then move from there? When I say a group, I think that has to be 5+ girls, and I really think talking and treating it like an opportunity to grow and set ourselves up for the following week to run even better, and then ultimately getting out hard at the Shaker meet, and then trying to put everything we've worked on over the course of the season together for the championship, I think gives you a good perspective on what we're doing, more so than any of the seasons you've been involved with before. The last thing I'd say is, when we zoom out to next fall, I think the potential here in terms of who you guys are as teammates and the type of talent we have. Obviously, people need to be healthy and training consistently in the summer and in the fall. And for the most part, we've had that, but we're missing a few people that would make a difference. I think next year you're a state championship team. And I don't throw that out there as that's just something I want to see happen because I'm the coach and I'm competitive and I like to dream big. No, it's actually what I think you guys are capable of doing in the state of New York. And so I think when you know that that's what I think your potential is, I'm hoping that you guys can buy in this weekend on something that I think will pay dividends immediately this season, but also further on down the road, and something special that I'd love for you guys to experience. It's something I experienced in high school, being on a state championship team. And I can tell you that, those guys, including myself, we did what Coach asked. We had 100% trust in that what he was telling us to do was the best possible advice. And we believed it, and we were willing to run through a wall for each other. And I have great pictures of those memories. And that's something that, as a coach, I'd love to be able to guide you towards that and provide that type of an experience. So, think about it. I'm videoing and telling you this today, so you have an opportunity to kind of let it sink in and have some conversations on the next couple of days in training, and then we can solidify it, when we get closer to the meet. Hope everybody's well, and stay in touch. I'll be back soon.